nobody can remember their name once they enter the digital circus. One of the few things I don't have control over are your minds. So all I can help you with is coming up with a new one.
So you've probably already seen my video on abstraction and what I believe its meaning is. We're going to be going into what is each character's psychological obstacle that they need to overcome in order to survive in the digital circus. And I think that Kane's statement of the one thing that he can't control is their minds is one of the first clues that yes, each of them has an obstacle that they need to overcome.
After a while, you start to realize that you really can't leave, and constantly chasing an unattainable goal will start driving you a bit crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive, and when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen.
I think that each character has one obstacle, one issue that they need to deal with. And I think that each of their characters, the way that they're portrayed in the digital circus, gives another clue exactly to that.
I don't think she really likes me that much.
It's a lot for anybody to go through. Don't take it too personally. I remember how long it took for you to adjust.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised you remember that.
Remember what?
For Kinger, he's fine, he is completely lucid and gives wonderful advice when he's in the dark, even if it's just a bucket on his head. But with Kinger, his entire attachment, his entire protection was Queenie. And I think that it's very significant that he's the king chess piece, which is often protected by the queen chess piece. She is his sense of safety, and whenever he's in environments that remind him of her, he feels safe and he doesn't have to depersonalize or no longer be there, which is for people commonly a reaction to stress and anxiety. If you feel overly stressed beyond the feeling that you can cope with it, you can depersonalize or not really be there. You're no longer absorbing the information around you. When your anxiety levels are exceptionally high, you are no longer processing information, and that seems to be the way that Kinger is unless he's in the dark, and in those times it's like his safe spot where he is with Queenie.
Why have you been acting so different lately?
I have, haven't I? I'm normally not too good with memories, but being surrounded by darkness always brings me back to a certain time. Right after my wife had abstracted, we both ended up in the fort together. And it was dark. The darkness seemed to calm her down a bit. I'm always taken back to that moment when engulfed in darkness.
There's nothing wrong with having a way to calm yourself down, but bring yourself back to a moment of peace or peaceful thoughts. The issue is if you cannot cope with the world without it. So for Kinger, what I would say is that you want to be able to carry that peace within yourself and be able to heal. Heal from that trauma of loss, heal from the feelings of guilt, heal from those wounds of the world outside being too much for you. You don't want to be overly attached to any one person, place, or thing. Because what happens if you don't have that thing with you, then you don't have your coping mechanisms. So you always want to remember he has to practice on carrying Queenie, remembering her memory, but also being able to keep yourself more calm and keep that darkness within you, that sense of, for him, peace, safety, and his reminder of his wife that he lost. That is the main goal and obstacle that Kinger needs to overcome in order to succeed at the digital circus and not abstract.
Hey, Pomni! Thank you. Perhaps help me out here. I understand that you don't want to, though.
Ragatha is the quintessential caretaker. Even in this case where she's in desperate need, she's so very polite. She's so worried about reaching out. Caretakers are those people that will care for everyone else beyond themselves, not know their own worth, not be able to show their own emotions because of that fear of being abandoned, fear that other people won't accept them, but also that need, that thought that their role, their goal is to make everyone else happy. Here she is glitching, and yet she's still apologizing for Pomni for having a bad day, even though her case scenario is so much worse. Often, people that are caretakers can lose their own identity. They don't even know who they are. They often also don't feel like they have allocation to be able to be angry and upset at people. One is because they're worried about having a conflict, and the other is that they sometimes don't even know that they have a right to. Their entire job was to take care of their family or the people that are around them. And because of that, you can lose sight of yourself. So for Ragatha, I would actually use some of Jax's words. You know what, Ragatha? Maybe you should try being able to be angry. You have a right to your anger. Your anger is actually there to protect you and keep you safe. It is okay and actually respectful to be able to have boundaries and consequences. And if anyone else can't handle it, because often the people around a caretaker are not going to be thrilled about you suddenly saying no to them or that you can't do something, because they're so used to you always saying yes that they might get upset. But that's okay. Whenever you change the rules, yes, some people might get their feathers ruffled a little bit. And so for Ragatha, she has to learn not to be that rag doll that is used and abused by everyone around them. That, yes, she has a value, she just needs to see it.
You good?
My comedy mask is usually broken by now.
For Gangle, their obstacle is really about emotional regulation, not having to wear all of these masks around everyone else because you can't keep your own emotions in check. And so wearing all of these masks means that you're not really authentically yourself. I think that the main obstacle for Gangle is learning to be able to control your emotions so they don't end up controlling you. It can feel like you're always out of control, and then you're always having to fake who you are. It can be really difficult to be around other people when you can't control how you feel and your emotions start to run wild. I think that that feeling of being overwhelmed with the world around you and being lost within that is probably a feeling that many of us have felt. That need to wear a mask around others because if you really showed your true emotions, no one else would be able to handle it. For Gangle, I would say that they need to really work on emotional regulation. To remember that emotions are usually controlled by thoughts, and so you need to know what your thoughts are and then practice calming yourself down, thinking different things, knowing what causes you to be overwhelmed and then why. Emotions are something that you practice, just like learning how to play piano. The more that you do something, the stronger that process becomes. Neurons that fire together wire together. So if you are always angry, you're going to get better at being angry. If your emotions seem to bubble out, you need to practice deep breathing, mindfulness, being in control of what the time is, but also those thoughts that are feeling those emotions. So yes, journaling, talking it out, exercising, working on focusing techniques would all be things to be able to help Gangle be in control of their emotions.
Got everything ready.
Hey, you at least want to join us for Kaufmo's funeral? We like to have a little funeral service to remember the people who abstract.
I think in that one moment we take a look and we see a lot of what Jax's issues are. That fear of getting close to people because you fear that you're going to hurt them and you're going to be hurt in that process, so you keep people out and at a distance. If you take a look at this scene, you can see those micro expressions that people often show what their true feelings are, even though they're trying to hide from them. Probably for Jax, hiding from them himself.
Oh, we make such a good team!
Well, to be fair, our competition wasn't anything crazy.
And that feeling of closeness and that immediate reaction of pushing someone away can often happen where you are worried about that feeling of getting close. And for Jax, he's already gotten close to someone and it hurt so badly when he lost them. And I think that that guilt of that it was his fault, he can't even come to terms with himself. And so then having that happen again could be too painful. Sometimes it's easier to just push someone away and end up at the end result, and that's by your hand, so you feel like you have some control over it, which is, I think, another one of those main obstacles about the digital circus. Having to let go of control, that we really don't have control over things that we hope that we do. And so sometimes we are trying to get control over the uncontrollable, which can make us have a lot of anxiety.
I suppose this is the part where one of us betrays the other.
Huh?
You see him looking at his hand like he doesn't even understand what happened. Sometimes we do things unconsciously that can sabotage relationships without actually purposefully doing that to keep ourselves safe or because it causes us so much fear. So for Jax, I would say that his way to win at the digital circus, his obstacle is allowing people to get close, to take that risk of taking off your armor and allowing someone in. And yes, that does come with that risk that they could get hurt. And the main goal is not to try to make sure that you don't get hurt, but to understand that you'll be able to survive it if you do, and that it's worth the risk anyways. Out of all the characters, who they become makes a lot of sense when you take a look at their psychology and the obstacles they need to deal with. I'm not really sure what Jax being a bunny rabbit actually has to do with their character. Is it that rabbits are actually easily startled? They run away from trouble. They are frolicking and just having fun and have difficulty with having really concrete issues and problems? I'm not sure. You can let me know your theories in the comments below.
It's me, remember? I don't like myself. I hate this body. I hate all these stupid removable pieces. I just want to find something that feels good.
And that's a common thing for people, for not liking who they are, their personality traits, or what they look like. And for Zooble, having all of those different removable parts makes a lot of sense to their obstacle, the hurdle that they need to overcome. We often want to feel perfect even with our imperfections, and it can be really difficult to actually accept that.
Simply swap out your undesirable Zooble parts for better ones.
I've been trying to find parts I like since the day I got here.
But the problem is, yes, you can change the way that you look and the way that you act, but you also want to work on how you feel on the inside. Just working on the outside without working on the inside, it's not going to really change how you feel about yourself. You want all of your parts to feel like the ones that you want them to be, but you want to be able to accept yourself, love yourself, even for your flaws and imperfections. I deal with people even that are supermodels, some of the most talented people, and they can often be the most difficult with themselves, because often when you are constantly judging yourself, you end up looking and seeing all of the flaws that no one else sees, and that want for perfection is impossible. So it can be a really difficult thing to be able to integrate who you want to be with who you are. So yes, if you want to change something, change it, but know that you really need to work on the inside. Outside change without inner work also can leave you still feeling unhappy. And so for Zooble, I would say you want to work on acceptance, loving yourself, and still finding your ideal self in the best way that you can. That way you can have peace on the inside and out.
Guess I just don't want you to feel like you're nothing. I don't want anybody to feel like that.
But I'm not even a real person. Would I even belong?
I'm sure you wouldn't belong any less than me.
Pomni. Now, Pomni I actually struggled with. Pomni seems like a little bit of many different things. There isn't one striking example that really calls out to a psychological obstacle that she has to deal with. So when we're talking about the jester is that person that tries to bring everyone together and make them laugh and happy. And when I researched Pomni's name in Russian, it means to remember. And so I think that then it made perfect sense that she is the glue that keeps everyone together.
Welcome back, my little hard-shelled hamburgers.
So this is the circus, huh? I could get used to this.
Oh, looks like one of these guys made it through.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
That was completely traumatizing for me the first time. I might have cried. But Pomni is the one that will remember. She's the one that's tracking everyone's journey.
Sometimes it all just feels pointless.
Yeah.
But it's not. Not if you have people who care about you. Good memories can do a lot. Hold on to them. And cherish the people around you. You never know when they'll be gone.
And so Pomni is that person to cherish and hold all of the memories, even for those when they can't.
You're just gonna go back to being crazy. You're not gonna remember any of this, are you?
Don't worry about me. As long as you remember it, things will be okay. You're very strong, Pomni. And I know you'll be able to get through this.
I don't know why that makes me so emotional, but I just think it's really beautiful that she's the one to remember and that we carry other people's memories and thoughts together. And that's what makes things matter. All of these things, all of these pains, all of these hardships, that we are the ones to be able to make it matter because it matters to us. Able to be that person to remember for them and keep them on point towards their goals so that they don't abstract. And I think this little tiny scene is the scene that really shows that in such a beautiful way. And I didn't really even understand the first time that I saw it. So let's kind of go through this together. This is right after Kaufmo's funeral, what Pomni is thinking. That sadness that she feels of falling into that darkness, the area where people abstract, but then having everyone else's hands holding her up, keeping her up from having to abstract. And so I think that that is the main point to the digital circus. And you can see everyone's hand is there, that they're all there to be able to support each other together in their different ways. And Pomni is that glue. I really love my next sponsor, World Anvil. If you have not checked them out, you completely should. If you are working on a module, a game, a show, a book, even some theater design, this is a wonderful way just to deal with character building or world building. World Anvil is an amazing all-in-one software for tabletop gamers, fantasy novelists, and anyone who loves creative world building. World Anvil is not just one tool, it is 3 complete creative tool sets, a world building suite, campaign manager, and a novel writing and publishing tool. As someone who has battled with cave trolls and dungeons, run in the shadows, hammered wars, and basically played RPGs all my life, today's sponsor, World Anvil, is just so incredibly perfect. It's wonderful because it works in a lot of ways the way that I work for psychology. You go through the character and what are their wounds and what are their drives. And the wonderful place is that it has everything there. So you can always go back and be able to take a look, especially if you're working on what are the motivations, what are the things that they care about, and you might forget. And the problem is if you forget, then you might drive your story or module into the wrong pathway. This keeps all of those bugs that you might be worried about or all those plot holes in one tight place where you're not going to be making those mistakes that are going to make you have to go back and rewrite things. Whether you are game mastering, game planning, writing, doing any kind of world building, World Anvil has you covered. Interactive maps, tools to help you build an original setting for D&D, Pathfinder, and 45 plus different RPGs. Keep your essential lore and stats one quick click away for fast, hassle-free prep. See what millions of game masters and players and writers have been raving about. It is just so much bloody fun. If you're playing D&D like me, you can create your own world to really bring all of your campaigns to life. It will make beating those digital friends of yours as easy as pie. If the Digital Circus has inspired you to create your own game or book, because I don't think there is one yet out there, you can be the first, then World Anvil has you covered. Basically, it has all of the best tools to help you write, organize, enjoy, and publish rich settings with complex characters. You can write, world build, and manage all of your stories in one single, simple platform. Are your papers all over the place, like me? If you've ever lost your character sheet, you know exactly what I mean. Or tried to search through that entire buildup for that certain monster that you're looking for. If you're in Waterdeep, Ravenloft, or the streets of Shadowrun, you don't have to worry with World Anvil. It is one website to rule them all and keep them all safe. You can sign up completely free, but because you're watching this video, you can try out World Anvil for a limited time for, yes, 51% off of an annual membership, which is a wonderful deal. Just use the code GeorgiaDow. Just clicking on the link in the description or use the code GeorgiaDow. Clicking on that link really helps out my channel, so thank you, and thank you to World Anvil for sponsoring this video. So we have Kinger, his need to be able to carry Queenie with him, but be able to be safe even when he's not in the darkness. We have Gangle, the need to be able to emotionally regulate and not be overwhelmed with their feelings. We have Zooble being able to be appreciative of all of their parts, even the ones that they're not that happy with, and be able to integrate them in themselves and love themselves. We have Ragatha. You don't have to be a caretaker. You can caretake yourself also, and people will still love you. You won't be abandoned. Jax, it's okay to be scared to get close to people, but that doesn't mean that you can leave yourself out. You're not this bad guy that you portray yourself to be. And for Pomni to recognize that her want and care for everyone else is the thing that will keep her centered, but she has to remember. Her job is to remember what to do and why, and to put all the pieces together, because she's the glue. And so I didn't do Kane and Bubbles. I don't know if this video does really well. Perhaps we'll do that. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments below.